What is up, you guys? This is Tara and Daniel Ludovici, and we are super excited to be hosting this live with y'all tonight. I'm going to give everybody just a minute. I'm going to check really quick and make sure that we're sharing on our own pages and tag Daniel and in our team pages. So once you jump on, say hey, tell us where you're watching from.
Hey.
Okay, give me just 1 second. Okay, Daniel, if you want to...
What?
Say what's up. What are we talking
on.
about? Say the point.
I gotta catch my breath for a second. So I had my best friend just bought a new Challenger and he showed up out of nowhere. I had to go look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was running back and forth, excuse me.
Somebody needs to work on their cardio.
Man.
Oh, burn. I'm just kidding.
You'll learn in this that I actually, I don't do much running. So and it still works. It's cardio.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so the whole point of this, first off, Terry and Daniel here. We're not experts. Daniel is a bodybuilder, so I guess he's the expert. I'm no expert. I can say that I have been following this fitness lifestyle for 15 plus years. I've tried a lot of things that did not work. We've both tried a lot of supplements that did not work. So we've done it all. We've tried it all. So we just want to share some tips with you guys tonight. And honestly, the biggest thing we wanted out of this is we have several family members and friends that are in our company's Ultimate Thrive Challenge, and there are hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line for the best transformation. So this live was to help all of our Thrivers with their fitness goals. They're learning their macros and their nutrition, and they're about, I think you guys are 4 weeks in, almost 5 weeks in. So next week is the halfway mark, and you're going to be submitting your 6-week pictures.
Ooh.
So
I took pictures today.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So so we just wanted to give you some tips maybe on going forward, things that you can tweak, because doing this 4 weeks, your body's probably maybe getting a little bit used to what you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. And the whole of changing your body is to constantly tweak what you're doing, to constantly trick your body to make those changes, right? Yeah. So we're going to be giving you some tips tonight. So comment where you're watching from, and if you are a challenger, if you're in the Thrive Challenge, let us know. And what are your results so far? I know we've seen some amazing results. We've heard inches lost and pounds lost.
Some of you guys have done just incredible
already, and just in the first month.
Proud and happy.
Yes,
we all have our timing, and when we decide to just do what we've been wanting to do, and some of you guys have been doing
turning it on.
But I want to say first. If people have MDs, PhD, right?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. You said you weren't a professional. Well, I am a I'm a SPHP, Daniel Ludovici, self-proclaimed health professional.
Oh, okay.
So, let's get that straight.
Himself titles. That's okay. It's okay. We'll take it. Okay, so we're 5 weeks in. So I want you to comment right now how many days you're currently training. Mm-hmm. If you're training yet, maybe some of you are just working on the diet part of it and you haven't started working out yet. So tell us either way. And then I want you to drop me the apple emoji if you are tracking your macros. If you are writing it down, if you're tracking it in an app, because that is definitely going to help you. So I wish I could.
So I was going to say, honestly,
here we go.
So honestly, with all of that is great. But at the same time, throughout this, there's going to be some times where we ask for you guys to present your questions, concerns, and things. So outside of having fun with who you are and where you are, I really want you guys to utilize questions, and I want to be able to answer them, because doing this the way we're doing it, some of you guys are tracking things, you know where you are, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, I don't know where you are, what you're doing, what you're eating, how you're doing.
And everyone's different.
So I'm going to need you to kind of ask questions, tell me what's going on, that kind of stuff, in order to assist you, the best that we can.
Mistyville, we love you too.
But go ahead and have fun with all these apples.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Okay, so when you are on your health journey, it is so very important for you to track your food. I learned this the hard way. I realized I wasn't eating enough. Because I was like snacking all through the day, but I'm talking like carrots and celery and
like a
stuff
rabbit.
that, yeah, it doesn't really matter. So until you actually put it in an app, and my favorite is MyFitnessPal. We use it every day. So that's been really, really helpful. Once you can actually track everything that you put in your mouth and don't leave anything out. If you grab a handful of cereal, you better track it because it's going to make a big difference. Yes, sir. Yes, you heard that. Daniel likes to sneak stuff late at night and not put it in his Okay,
What?
we won't go there. We won't go there. Okay, so Daniel, I actually had this question. Somebody asked, what is a macro? So we're going to take it basic.
Okay, perfect, cool. So a macro is a macronutrient. That in simplicity, that's going to be your carbs, fats, proteins.
Perfect. Okay.
So in simplicity, your macros are those three, and there's a difference between macro and micros.
Okay, so what's a micro?
Yeah, if you're reading things on the internet, and they sometimes use terms of what you make sure you're getting all your macros, and you might consume those macros. There's difference. So macros are your fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. Your micros are going to be your vitamins, minerals, and things like that.
Perfect. Okay, so now that we've got that under wraps, let me just read you guys a little something that I found.
No, not a macaroni.
Although Daniel likes macaroni.
Yeah, and there's a time and place for everything. As we all get into this, you'll see there's a time and place for everything.
Lori working out 6 days a week. I love it. You know what's funny?
Someone's using my fitness, so why? We should be friends if we're not already.
Yes. Okay, so a new study from Harvard shows that individuals following a low-carb diet burn between 209 and 278 more calories per day than those on a high-carb diet. So the type of calories we eat matter. Not every calorie is created equal, right? So your calories in your fats are more than your calories in your protein. So for every 1 gram of carb, it's 4 calories. For every 1 gram of protein is 4 calories, and for every 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So just to give you that. Okay, so tips for fat loss success. So like we said, it's hard to kind of give a definite, like, you should have this many grams of protein, you should have this many carbs, because everybody's different. Our height, our weight, all of that.
Rate
your metabolic rate.
And your genetics. I mean, that's going to play a lot into it.
Plays a role into it. So these are some things that everybody can do to like kickstart your fat burning. If you've already you're on your Thrive, and if you're not on Thrive, you need to contact us, because I promise you it will make a difference in your life, in how you feel and how you sleep and how you work out and how you eat, your motivation, all of it. It is amazing. So these are some of the things. The very first thing, Daniel, what is it for fat loss? Number one thing, most important thing.
Oh, most important thing. I'm sorry. There's just a few in my mind that are going around and round, but some of the most basic things are going to be eating 5-6 times a day. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's the most basic. That's hard. It is what it is. And there's a very specific reason for that. And some of you guys, you've heard me say this 100 times, and some of you may not have ever heard this before. So that's why we're going to go over it. Eating 5 to 6 times a day, so your metabolism is stimulated in only one way, and the only way to get that going is by eating. Right? You have to turn the mechanisms on into your body. If you're not eating, it's doing all these other things on the side to keep your body running. But to turn your metabolism on, the only way it stimulates it is by eating. And so, given the fact that most foods are processed and utilized within a 1 hour to 3 hour period, it would make sense, and it does make sense, to eat every 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Right? Because by that time you've utilized everything. Now, to stimulate the metabolism again, you eat again. And so you see, boom, 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 and you're constantly keeping, you're priming your metabolic rate to be functioning all day. That is the most crucial part, is you want to be a fat-burning, muscle-building machine as many hours as the day as possible. That's literally the name of the game.
Yes. And so with every time you eat. I don't want to call it a meal. It's not a full-blown meal.
Mike Krause, I see you. I see you. We can talk about that. We can talk about that.
We won't talk about that right now. Anyways, so with every time that you eat, you should be eating protein in every single meal. It keeps you full. That is the building block to building muscle. So you need to have your protein.
And it also slows down the digestive. It slows down the absorption rate of carbohydrates and other things.
Okay.
And what that means really quickly is when you slow it down, it's almost like watching traffic go by, right?
Okay.
Yum, 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 yum. You can't see the colors of the cars, who was in it, what kind of car it is. When the traffic's going slow, right? You're sitting in traffic, you're like, oh, that's an Acura. That's a shit. So the body can say, oh, that's a carb. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to do. So I'm just painting a picture. When you slow things down, the body can recognize it a lot faster and is able to handle it a lot better.
That's smart. Okay, so let's give them some ideas because I know some people say, well, like what kind of protein? It's not just you're eating steak all day long, right? We mix it up. So some of the things that we eat on the daily, we eat eggs, egg whites, chicken breast, turkey. Fish. Daniel likes beef. I don't really like beef, but yes, any kind of fish, shrimp.
Land animals. Flying animals.
Cottage cheese is a good one.
Yeah,
I love
products.
that. Greek yogurt is amazing. What else we eat? I supplement sometimes with protein shakes, especially at night if I'm like kind of hungry and want something sweet. I'll do a protein shake, and that'll and tell them what kind of protein.
You want to weigh you want to weigh isolate.
Isolate.
It's got the most bang for your buck. It's the easiest digestive protein. It's the cleanest protein, and we won't get into it, but many manufacturers use different types of proteins. Anyway, it's the most effective for your body. And now there's a time and a place for the different proteins, like casein that digest very slow. It's a milk protein. So, but in general, you want a good whey isolate. I mean, they strip everything out of it, and you're left with the pure amino acid strands.
And so for what we do, especially when he's like in competition prep, is we will pick a day, maybe two, and we'll just cook a bunch of protein. He'll grill a bunch of chicken and steak, or we'll make meatballs. That we love doing. Turkey meatballs are amazing. So we'll just make a bunch of stuff and then keep it in the fridge, because when you're eating 5 or 6 times a day, it's so much easier and convenient when you have something ready. What I find when I kind of fall off,
no, let me stop you.
I'll fall off the wagon if I go too long eating and then I'm starving and I go and like open the fridge or open the pantry. Like, you don't want to just grab something, because a lot of times it's not going to be a healthy option unless you take the time to meal prep and have it ready there for you. So, speaking
April,
of,
I'm just going to come. You keep talking, but I just want to make sure these don't go away. Intermittent fasting is bad, so no, it's good, and we can get into that. I don't know. I need another third person here.
So somebody else said carb cycling. Oh, that's me. See me right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, intermittent fasting. So I have a different take on it. I really, really do. But this is for, and I want you to understand, this is for the complete process of a healthy body, that's burning fat, that's building muscle, that's feeding your organs, and giving you entire nutrition. And so, and again, this is my take on it. Intermittent fasting, to me, on those terms, would be intermittent fasting of carbohydrates, not nothing at all. To me, now there's a time and so I would say I would fast for a day, and that has its benefits too for the digestive tract and all that kind of stuff. But on the for me, and some of you guys forgive me, and again, this is what I believe and have researched for the entirety of health, not just fat loss, because intermittent fasting, I agree, will burn fat after a duration, but
and it's the hours that you choose
entire health. Intermittent fasting of carbohydrates is going to do both. It's the best of both worlds. So that I believe is,
or just that's she asked too about, or somebody did about carb cycling. So that might be more carb cycling.
That would be
than
carb cycling.
intermittent fasting.
And that's where I go into saying, you don't eat carbs after 6, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And then you're going 14 to 16 hours without any carbohydrates in the blood. So to me, and half of that, most of that, you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. So everybody technically fasts while you sleep. So what I do, and I do this every day, I'll stop eating normally like 7 or 8 o'clock. And then I get up at like 5 in the morning. I try to get to the gym early, but I'm fasted the whole time. I don't have any food. I do my capsules. I'll go get my fasted cardio. So I'll do like 30. I've just started implementing 45 minutes of cardio. And then the first thing that I do when I break my fast is have my Thrive shake, some scoop of protein to it. So it just depends on like the hours. And yes, you can use your Thrive shake as a protein shake. It's not considered a protein shake. It's very low calorie, but it does have 15 grams of protein. So that's good. And that's an awesome source of protein. It's pea protein. So it absorbs great in your body and all that good stuff. So, okay. So let's talk about your meals. Planning your meals around when you work out and why that's important.
Yeah. So my favorite term that I dubbed a few years ago is like the triple or quadruple Fs. Food is for fun, or food is not for fun. Food is for fuel, not for fun, right? Food is to give you what you need to be the best that you are. It should not be. And again, I always reiterate, there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
But on the daily, food is not to satisfy your needs mentally, emotionally.
Yeah. It's for fuel.
It's for fuel. It is not for fun. So that said, you want the bulk of your carbohydrates and the bulk of your big meals before and after you train. That way you're using them. It has a purpose. Just like anything else in life, you want the things you do to have purpose. So depending on, we can get into detail maybe after this or during this. You guys can say, well, I work out in the morning or in the night, because both of those have two entirely different meal programs and protocols. And if you train at night, you don't want to follow the protocol that I would suggest, for someone that trains in the morning. I would have to flip-flop everything. So it's really important. But eating and the bulk of your nutrition before workout is going to fuel you so you can perform at your best. You can work out a little longer, get more cardio, more training, more reps, more strength. And that leads to all the other goals. And then, of course, the next 2 meals after your training session are the most crucial. But then after that, you've given your body what it needs to recover, to energize, and all that kind of stuff. Say you work out in the morning, you have all the bulk of your food, say before 2 o'clock. And I say bulk, I mean your bigger meals.
With your carbs.
Right. Just your bigger, heavier meals. They can be utilized. After that, you want to start tailoring down, right? Because
you're not going to be very active. You're going to be just hanging out.
But you're going to get hungry. You're going to get hungry. So
that's
what I'm saying. You just want to tailor it down a little bit. You don't need as much in one sitting at a time. So like, for example, I might eat 500-600 calories the 2 meals after I train. I'm at 7 o'clock. I'm not going to eat a 600-calorie meal. It's going to be probably 400 calories. So just think of that in the mindset. I think you guys can understand that you want to tailor off. The idea is you want to go to bed you don't want any carbohydrates or glycogen or glucose in your bloodstream in your blood while you're going to bed. And the reason for that is there's the potential. Well, again, we're all different, but there's the greater potential for storing that is fat, because you're not doing anything. You're not physically active in that. So, so that's the importance, unless you have the right question you want to trigger.
Well, I was going to ask if, like, I want to give everybody an example of like how many, like for yourself, before you go work out, you eat a half a cup of rice and eggs or something. And then afterwards, a half a cup of rice or a cup of rice and food. So when we say limit your carbs, we're talking rice, potatoes.
So hold on real quick. Someone said I'll Google it. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I'm not sure who you are because it just says Facebook user.
I think somebody
so
asked.
Forgive me if I don't get to it.
And if we don't get to answer the questions right away, I promise you we will go back in and answer all the questions. So just give us a little bit. I know some of these are going kind of quick and I can't keep up with them, but I promise we'll get back to your questions. So the carbs that we're talking about right after, fast digesting carbs that are like rice, potatoes, grains.
Think white.
Yes. I don't really do a lot of breads, maybe like right after I'll make French toast or something like that. So you can, it's not bad. It's just, it's best to do it right after you work out. So your body's going to use it all instead of just storing it. So then in the afternoon, instead of doing like potatoes and rice and all that stuff, maybe you do like 2 different sides of vegetables. Maybe you do squash and broccoli with your chicken or whatever you're going to eat. So you can have all the broccoli, all the vegetables, all that stuff that you want. That's needed. Right. That's not a big deal at nighttime.
No, it is a beneficial. Right. And there are very little calories, but they can satisfy
the hunger too
and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay, so you have here, don't eat carbs 3 hours before bed. And he kind of covered that because you don't want them stored, possibly stored for fat if you're not going to use them.
You don't need them lingering around in your bloodstream for no reason.
Okay, so now let's talk about training.
Yeah, hold on. Mike, I do want to just touch on the training in the evening. So you would, I want you to have a good breakfast. I want you to have a good, healthy, full spectrum breakfast. However, I would kind of limit your afternoon intake as far as calories, all of the macros. However, I still want you. You're a big guy. You and your son are strength training and that kind of stuff. It's necessary for you to have that carb source after you train.
Oh, after. No,
but in that case, man. So just I wouldn't have any more than 50. 1 cup of rice, something like that. No more than 50 carbohydrates. That's kind of the rule of thumb that the body can handle at one time, absorb and use. So given say you weight train for an hour, Mike, you and your son, say it's in the evening, you intake 50 grams. That's what I take at 185 pounds. And doing all the things I do to still grow muscle. However, I'm certain through the years of studying my body and others, you will use it, and you can still go to bed a couple hours after that and not have those lingering carbs sitting in there. So I hope
awesome.
That helps.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about like for fat loss, what is the best workouts? And people ask this, how much cardio should I be doing? Should I be doing weight training? Should I be doing HIIT? Should I be doing and I know everybody's different, but
yes, 50 grams of carbs.
I'll just tell you my experience. I used to be a runner. I ran all the time. And I just thought, okay, I want to lose weight. I'm just going to put on a trash bag and I'm just going to run. And I did that forever. So you may lose the weight, but then you just get skinny. If you want to tone your body and you want to create some shape and have some abs and just some cuts and stuff, you definitely want to be lifting weights. Ladies, do not be scared of the weights. Don't. You will feel so good. I can't tell you how great it feels to go and get in a good workout, and then your endorphins are high and you just feel so strong and you feel so good. And not only that, but Daniel taught me this a long time ago. He said, because I'm always like, God, he could barely do anything and he's already losing fat and I gotta kill myself in the gym. Why? And he taught me that the more muscle you have, the more fat you burn. So it would make sense if you want to grow some muscle so that your body is in a fat burning state, right?
Yep.
Okay. So how much cardio should we be doing? How much should we be training a week? Do you think?
I would say beginners, 3 days a week.
Okay.
Say weight training. But I think at least 30 minutes a day of cardio is not difficult, but has such a great benefit.
Okay.
And taking this seriously, Doing cardio first thing in the morning is going to be your absolute best in a fasted state, being that you don't have any carbohydrates. It's forcing your body to utilize stored fat for energy. And it doesn't take a lot. Go for a walk. And if you've got a treadmill, that's the best. I put on my ear pods. I watch YouTube. I connect with my thrivers, and I do whatever for 30 minutes. It goes by like nothing. That's the ultimate best. And I can't literally suggest anything better than that. Now, if you cannot do that, there's two other options. One is 30 minutes of cardio after you weight train. If you can fit that in. Reason being is you're going to utilize all the glycogen in your muscles and in your body weight training, and then you're left in a fasted state while you do your cardio. The third is right before you go to bed. That is going to, it might not burn a whole lot of calories during the moment, but that's going to ensure that you don't have any glycogen or carbohydrates, things like that, while you sleep, like we were talking about a minute ago. So at least you're eliminating with that option, you're eliminating the possibility of storing any extra body fat or things like that. But I would say weight train 3 days a week, 30 minutes of cardio daily as the kind of generic for anybody across the board here.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, someone says talk about butt building workouts. You're talking my language, okay? I love me some booty workouts. So squats are your best friend. You want to do some sumo squats, regular squats, lunges are great. You know what? We have a couple of videos on our YouTube channel.
Nikki, I got you.
Yeah, okay. We have a couple of videos on our YouTube channel, and maybe we can do another video here soon about just like maybe some different workouts. And like show you guys how to do them. It will take you to the gym with us or something. Let me see. So, somebody else. Go ahead, honey.
I was just going to answer Nikki's question really quick. So to make sure, her question is how do you make sure that you're not burning muscle?
Good question.
Utilizing stored fat instead of burning muscle. It's a great question. So the answer to that is doing low impact cardio. For example, walking uphill a little bit instead of sprinting your ass off. Because there's a demand for that energy. Walking for 30 minutes, walking at an incline, or even just walking in general, it's a much slower process. Again, the body is smart, but it also has common sense. So if you're walking at this pace, right, just like I talked about earlier with the slower pace of the car, the traffic in that example, the body can say, hey, I see we're walking. Okay, I've got time to go ahead and pull from the fat stores for energy. I'm not in this crisis where I need energy now at all costs. And the reason being is muscle breaks down.
So should I not be like sprinting on a treadmill? Because sometimes I like kill myself.
So what you do is you do them in short bursts. You sprint and then walk and sprint and then walk.
So like a hit train.
So that gives the body enough time to say, okay, I need this right now.
And then
it's like, hey, wait a minute, we're walking.
Okay. Okay, good. And then another one for lower tummy workout. It's really hard to target just the stomach. The abs are made in the kitchen. Seriously. That is what I have found. Right, babe?
What?
Somebody asked for like a lower tummy workout. But there are different like leg raises that you can do. There are different workouts that you can target your lower abs. But if you're talking about trying to just lose targeted fat in one spot.
Wayna, yes, message me.
It's going to be your diet mostly is really going to help you get those abs that you're looking for. Okay.
Well,
BMR, best way to increase it.
What was about the abs? What was that about the abs?
She was asking, or somebody was asking for a targeted tummy workout.
Oh, wow.
I mean, yes, ab workouts, lower, like leg lifts.
I'm going to be honest. Don't get caught thinking that you can
just do one thing.
That you can target fat loss. It's just not how that. So I mislead anybody.
Yeah. And that's why I said that. It's hard to do that.
Not the way the body works.
Yeah.
The body is going to pull fat from everywhere.
And if you're a woman, unfortunately, that's like the area that goes last.
Well, it is the area that goes last, and it's the area that builds first. And it's simple. That's where the stomach is. You have to think of fat being having to disperse through your body before it gets stored. Well, around the gut and the back love handles, things like that, it's right next to your stomach. So of course it's going to, stay there first. But the answer, being honest, is just you want abs, you got to just get rid of the body fat so you can see them. That's really it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Someone said I can walk for hours. And back to the HIIT. So I love HIIT style training. I absolutely love it. I probably do it every day, whether it's on the treadmill or on the stair stepper or even with my weights. Like I absolutely love it. And I guess I kind of do intermittent fasting. I mean, and really everybody has to see what works best for them. There's like, we know a couple people that do intermittent fasting for crazy long duration. And right now they're doing really good. So you just kind of have to judge, like, how's your energy level? How do you feel? Are you recovering? Are you making progress? If you're doing this for so long and you see no changes, and like, you have to switch it up.
It won't last. Those long intermittent, I know that it typically works for heavier people, because the body doesn't want to hold on to that. It really doesn't. You're people that are extremely heavy, they're really forcing it on themselves. The body naturally doesn't want to be that way. So it might work for heavier people that are just average Americans, average whatever you want to call that. It might work for a little bit, but it's going to work for a very short duration until your body catches on. And two, it's not healthy. I'm sorry, it's not. I'm gonna be honest here. You guys, might say, "Oh, I lost X amount of pounds," and that's great. But for me, I think I'd rather discuss and talk about the entire health, longevity of life, lifestyle, all of these things that are so crucial.
Yeah, I would have to agree, because I've tried some very extreme diets. And they might work for a hot minute, but you cannot maintain that forever. It's not healthy for you.
And Charla, I saw your question. So you and I operate very similar, and we know that.
Oh yeah.
I get hypoglycemic, or I feel the symptoms of it, and we just have to get to know our bodies. So for you, Charla, I would suggest little protein bars of some sort. They have carbohydrates in them, something to give yourself a little glycogen, because being hypoglycemic and feeling like that sucks, and it's not healthy either. So that happened. If you all saw my Facebook story the other day, that happened to me yesterday. I was going to take a day off, so I went for a walk on the trails. And one little walk, I got excited. I was talking to a friend of mine, Tony. He's on here, and we were like,
carry you?
No, it was almost. I mean, who knows what would have happened? But long story short, I planned for a 45-minute walk, and we were having a good time. So when the weather was great, we kept walking. Well, that hypoglycemic effect, my blood sugar dropped within 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes into walking, but about an hour later when it came like that. So that's the problem. And I was struggling. That's no fun. So my answer to that is I was wishing I had a little snack with me. Yeah. Now, that's not the time to eat, a hamburger or a bowl of French fries or something like that. But a little snack, 20, 30 grams of carbohydrates to get in, raise the blood sugar to normal levels. I came home. I have it here because I was like, I want to know, and I do this all the time. I want to know my blood sugar. That's just how I do my best to perfect what I'm doing. But no lie, if you can say,
was it like 79?
It was. Yeah. So if you guys can see, that was my blood sugar when I came home from that walk, and I can feel it. And so anyway, we get to know your body, get to know that. It was extremely low. It was a little dangerously low. But if I were to have had a little snack, a little protein bar,
or gummy bears,
a little gummy bears, a Gatorade. I'm being honest here, something at that moment, because the body will utilize it. Yeah. It would have put me back up to like 85, which is still low but normal, things like that. So
just gotta take snacks with you.
Learn your body.
Yes. Okay, so someone says here in Ontario, we are in lockdown and can't go to the gym. That's so hard, walking an hour a day. Let's see, I usually do a boot camp 2 times a week. That's awesome. And personal training. I know it's so hard. I know when all this first happened here in the States, we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We had dumbbells. We had some, all the weights that we could conjure up. And we tried doing all the different workouts we could. Oh, you okay, dude? We have an injury in the house.
So, Mike, did you get I have to know, did you get the gummy bears from, what's his name? The Axe and Handle?
Jim.
What's his name?
It says right there, Jim.
Oh, he's got Stepani. No.
Oh,
so
Stepani.
there's another bodybuilder that's made the whole gummy bear thing famous. Anyway.
Okay, so last couple things. We want to talk about hydration and cutting out any unnecessary carbs in your drinks. If you're drinking sweet tea, soda, coffee, I mean, all those things have added carbs that you probably are not accounting for. And those little bits throughout the day, if you don't track them, can definitely add up. Your condiments, your ketchup, your barbecue sauce, your all that stuff. Start looking at your labels and looking at how much sugar is in that stuff. So if you can stay away from it and use something else, as far as like dressings and stuff for your salads, because everybody's like, oh, salad is healthy. As soon as you put all that ranch and all that stuff on top, you better put that in your macros and make sure that you can account for it.
Yeah, just be conscientious.
Yeah. So as far as your hydration, drinking at least half your body weight in ounces a day. If you can get even more than that, you are just going to feel so much better. It's going to fuel your organs, fuel your body, fuel your muscles, help your digestion.
This is not advice. Staying hydrated is not advice. It's
necessary.
it's necessary. You have to remember every cell of your body is made up of 60 to 70% water. Every cell. So you can equate that and saying your body is 70% water. But more importantly, think it's every cell, your brain, your heart, your liver, your kidneys. So staying hydrated and drinking water throughout the day. This is that. I'm sorry, that's not advice.
Yeah.
If you want to live, you need to have water.
Yeah.
And you don't want it the bare necessities. You want a minimum of an ounce per. I wasn't even going to say per.
Half your body weight.
Yeah.
In ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minimum.
And if you want, like I was telling Lori and Jill, like we put pink sea salt in our water because the salt helps to carry the water all throughout your body. So that's just going to help you stay hydrated. We also have a product called Thirst.
I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to do that anymore.
Oh, well, good for you.
Yeah. Why?
Because you have Thirst?
Yeah. Oh. And it tastes way better than water.
It's so good. The Thrive Thirst is so good. And let me guys tell you, we have one without caffeine and we have one that has 150 milligrams of caffeine that's derived from green tea. So it doesn't make you jittery, but boy, I'll mix one of them Thirst with the Circulate before I go to the gym. It's so good.
Mike, I want you to hear this. So I've been utilizing the Thirst since it came out because when I start dieting, like I just started recently, getting ready for a show in 9 weeks. But anyway, I start to cramp. My body's working so fast. All these things are happening. I started implementing the Thirst, and I understand the science of it, but I'm actually really feeling it. Being able to maintain a pump, blood flow, and all that. See, a lot of the pump is blood and water. It's not anything other than some magic. It's literally blood and water. So having enough, and that I you know what? Because of that, I'm going to do a video. I'm going to do a talk on sodium. I hear so many times how people are getting rid of sodium. Their sodium is bad. This, that. I want to educate everyone on the importance of sodium.
The correct kind of sodium.
It's just as important as water. Matter of fact, they work hand in hand.
That's good because I love salt.
Yeah, it works hand in hand. It's necessary.
Yeah.
Just like insulin is for carbohydrates, it's the carrier for it. Well, sodium's the carrier for water. If you don't have sodium in your body, it goes in and right out. It doesn't
flush through.
It doesn't go where it needs to. It doesn't stay where it needs to. So I'm going to do a video on that.
Awesome. Okay, so wrapping this up because I know we're already 40 minutes in. Going forward, for everybody to tweak their macros, I'm going to challenge you to start stripping away some of your carbs. And if you like, I can't give you an exact number because I don't know where you're at right now, but if you want to message us or show us like what you're doing right now and what your end goal is. Some people are just like the end goal is this Thriver challenge right now. I'm sure that will change once it's over, but Let us help you come up with a new game plan on your macros, but I'm going to challenge you to cut some of your carbs and make sure that you are being in a calorie deficit.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have less calories in than what you are working off.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing when you're trying to lose weight. And just eating clean. Cut out the crap. Eat clean food. What else? And then, and Daniel and I, we tried to set this up, and then the weather was terrible, so we didn't get to. But we are going to do a Ultimate Thriver workout together, and we're here in Texas, so we're gonna find somewhere like North Point Church was gonna let us do it there in their parking lot. So we are working on that, and we're going to, plan a group workout. So
and
if you
flexibility,
are close,
Charla, and flexibility.
yeah. If you are anywhere close around here and you want to participate, shoot us a message and we'll get that set up. And then also maybe we can even do like a Zoom workout or something. Yeah. Well, we could do some videos or something.
I don't know how we get.
I don't know how to count macros. Weena, download, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Download MyFitnessPal. And what's really cool about that app is that you can put in your weight right now, what your goal weight is.
No, please don't.
Well, honey, but it can give them an idea of what macros.
Wrong. I know, but that I don't.
You don't go by that?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay, message Daniel and he will tell you what your macros should be.
It will show you what you're eating, but I don't like the calculations that app.
I guess it's too broad. I guess for your person.
It doesn't. No, because here's an example. For me, because I weigh 185 pounds, it thinks I'm overweight.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
No, it will.
Okay, that makes sense.
It doesn't do the macros correctly, and then for others, it will say that if you wanted to say, and so I'm sure there's somebody in here that wants to put on some muscle or gain a little weight. It will tell you to eat like 400 carbs. That's just not. That's just no. So
okay.
But use it to look and count what you're putting in as far as your macros, your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. Those are the three fundamentals that you want to watch and make sure of. So
yes, yeah. And you can search any food. You can also just scan the barcode of the food that you're eating and it will tell you, like it'll log it for you. So that, I mean, it's really, really convenient. So that's really helpful. Someone asked,
I'll come to Tulsa, bro. I'll come to Tulsa.
Oh, me too. Totally, we will. We've been saying, where do we want to go? But how many calories is too little calories? I would say not under like, what, 1,200, 1,500, depending on the person. Even that is like really low.
You don't want to eat less than 13, 1,500 calories. And I don't care who you are here.
Yeah. But like ours are different. I could eat less calories than him and be totally okay. So it depends on, your weight, how tall you are, and all that stuff. So, and some of these, we can't see the names. It just says Facebook user. So send us a private message if you have direct questions particular to like your situation, and we can help you.
Yeah. But
that under 1,000 is definitely too low.
You touched on the deficit. I just want to talk about that because we kind of just threw it out there. This is going to take counting your macros. Yeah. And if you guys want to take this seriously and really figure yourself out for the first time, because we're all different, every single one of us, you have to count your calories. So I'm going to give you a quick example of how you know. I remember absolutely 1,000 is you're dying, girl. You're dying. and
it's too low,
and again, that's almost like the intermittent fasting because you might lose some weight in the beginning, but for one, it's not healthy. Two, it's not sustainable for numerous reasons. But in order to find out if you're in a calorie deficit, you need to log your food. And you know what? In the beginning, it's going to be a little rough. Like say you start off with 2,000 calories. That's the average. That's why the United States comes up with the 2,000 calorie marker. That's a genetic average for an average man and woman.
Yeah.
So you have to log your calories. And say you were at the 2,000 calorie mark, give or take a few. And you need to weigh yourself every morning, not for here, not to make yourself feel good, because other people like hate getting on the scale, blah, blah, blah. This is for taking this seriously and correcting yourself and figuring yourself out. So if you ate 2,000 calories a day and it's going to take a week, so then say it's going to take some time to your body to figure out what's going on. Then you start weighing yourself every morning. And now if you find that you're losing 0.3, 0.5 pounds a day, you're in a deficit. If you stay dead nose in the middle, every morning you're the same weight, that is what is called your metabolic rate. That is what your body expends every day is 2,000 calories. You're not losing anything and you're not gaining anything. You're at that perfect hormonal balance. Now, if you start gaining weight, that's your signal. I'll say, okay, my metabolic rate's a little slower. I need to drop it down. Now listen, you never want to drop your calories at one time, taking this seriously, more than 300 calories at a time. And you might be thinking, because I was like, 300 calories? What? That's never going to work. Literally, your body is so smart and so sensitive, it doesn't take much to trigger major changes.
Yeah.
And so then drop it down 300 calories. Do that for 3 or 4 days. Now, if you start to see that decline, I don't care if it's 0.1 pounds, I really don't. But as long as you're going into that direction, now you have a starting point. This is where we need to be, and this is what none of us know. They don't teach us this stuff. We're not born to know. It's not in our educational system. That is what you need to know to be in control of your own body, and for your own personal goals. So that's the important of one, tracking your calories, and two, how do you even get into a deficit? Some of you guys on here are going to have a super high metabolic rate. You don't even know it. You might run off of 3,000 calories a day. So that is the suggestion I would have. That's what I do.
And now, what do you say to people that are low in their calories, but they're still not losing weight? Like, is it possible that maybe they're not getting enough?
Yeah,
calories?
That's the answer. Yeah, your metabolism is running way too slow, and it's storing everything. That's going back to what I've always dubbed as the starvation mode. That's the importance of eating multiple times a day to speed that metabolism up.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, what else? Do you have any last things? So for all of our challengers, and your family, and I'm thinking of a couple people that come to mind right now, Lori and Paul and everybody. What's your advice to them right now? I know we said kind of cut back on the carbs. Is there anything else they should do?
Well, I need you to not.
They're switching up their workouts too.
Okay, that's good. But I don't want you to I want you to do this. We want to keep our calories about the same, right? So because you guys are working out, you specifically are working out 6-7 days a week. You're busting it. So I don't want you to right now go down in the calories, because I don't think, from what we talked about before, you weren't extremely high on the calories. What I want to do is manipulate your carbs, protein, and fat ratio.
Switch those up.
Correct. So, for example, if you were having 200 carbs a day or 150, well, I'm just using 200 for a round number. What I would suggest is, say it was 200 carbs a day, 150 grams of protein, and 50 grams of fat. That came out to, say, 2,000 calories. I want you to stay at the 2,000 calories. But in order to stay at the 2,000 calories, if we pull the carbs down by 50, okay, I need you to up the protein, and a little bit of fat, maybe, just depending, but up the protein, lower the carbohydrates, stay at the 2,000 calories, so that you feel good, you're healthy and energetic. Now you're just getting it in different pathways. And now the body's like, oh, I was used to running on 200 carbohydrates a day. I was doing this. And now you pull that away. Now it's like, oh gosh, I need to find other ways to have the same performance level. And so that's how you manipulate that. That's precisely what I've always learned, and that's precisely what I do for myself. I don't ever go down X amount of calories. I literally only adjust, and this is to get me peeled to the bone for a show. I literally adjust my carbs, fats, and proteins, and my
Mhm.
calories stay the same. It's just my body's forced to utilize it in a different way.
Oh, that's good. Okay, now Miss Emily said I eat on average 1,500 calories, burn 4 to 7 calories a day, and I still have a super hard time losing.
4 to 7. Wait, what is this?
She's burning 4 to 700 calories a day, and she has a hard time losing.
Okay.
I wonder what the macros are.
You're definitely burning more than 700 calories a day. I mean, unless, and I don't, I mean,
and maybe she's logging her workout.
Oh,
and that's probably what
that doesn't even matter. You know, I'm going to give you an explanation. The 2,000 calorie thing remember I was saying how the government uses for the average human being.
Mm-hmm.
That is if you did nothing. That is just what it takes for you to breathe, for your brain to function.
Yeah.
You're burning 1,000 calories, 1,500 calories a day just living. Everything is working all day long. You're breathing. Just the everyday minimal stuff. You're burning a ton of calories. So that's not to take away from what you said, Miss Emily. That's just so you have an understanding.
Said that's per workout. Like she's probably logging it.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on. If you eat 1,500 calories a day, and say and I don't know, and again, it's all different speculation. Your body type, height, weight, all that. And you burn 400. Say you burn 500. That puts you at 1,000 calories. How do I want to say that?
I think it would be hard to tell unless you know her macros,
losing.
Right?
It would. It really would. That's really hard. Maybe I'd like to talk to you in person.
Us. Yeah.
Really, because I mean, literally, we can figure that out. Because again, those 1,500 calories could only come from 2-3 meals a day. That might be the thing. Say you ate a lot of meat, you might be taking in more fat. There's so many variables. Yeah. And again, please, anybody ask me any questions. It's going to be very difficult. And I told Tara, I don't know how. But she wanted to plan this whole thing. She's so good at that.
But have bullet points for things that we know that help.
And I take this, very, very seriously. But it's very difficult.
Sure.
To give a broad to everyone. To everyone. It's going to work for everyone. There's so many variables in there. So please, message me. Give me a call. We can talk about it. But we can absolutely figure that out for sure.
How do you do your macro split percentage wise? And is everyone different? I would say everybody's different. It depends. Are you just starting? Have you been on that regimen for a while? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you trying to maintain? So I think it would kind of just depend on what your goals are. Let's see. She does the same hit that I do. She's a bad mama jama.
And so I see another says stay under 50 grams of carbs.
She stays under 50 grams of carbs.
Well, that there could be just on those two things you said, Emily. I'm thinking right off the bat, we need to stimulate your body. We need to stimulate your metabolic rate. We need to stimulate everything. I feel with you saying that it's in that survival mode where it's kind of stagnant, just trying to survive each day. Not you mentally or spiritually, but physically. It's just trying to live. So we can stimulate that, get it going, and then that way we can be in control of what we want it to do.
I think I went through that same thing. Where I was like working out, I was my calories were low, and you had told me like, Terry, you're not eating enough. So I'm like, what is the deal? Like, I'm doing all this stuff and it's not working. And he had me up the carbs, up the protein. And within a week, I was down a couple pounds. And I thought, who would have thought you could eat more to lose weight? That was very backwards for this girl's mentality. I'll tell you that right now. Lori said, I would love to get together and figure out what would be a perfect. Yes, let's do it, Lori, for sure. And I'm just going to say, you guys, the winner of the Ultimate Thriver is going to be someone in our group. I can feel it in my bones. I am so excited.
Yeah.
And so I know we probably missed some questions. Like I said, we'll go back and answer all of those the best we can. And if anybody has like one-on-one stuff, Mr. Guru here, I know he will help you get on a regimen that will work. He's amazing at that stuff. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but we'll definitely do this again. We'll talk workouts. We'll do all that stuff. So thank you guys so much. And I'm also going to announce the winner of the free balance. So I have shared this in several different groups. So I'm just going to go and make sure, and we're going to choose one winner, one random person, and then we'll announce it here in just a little bit. So anything else you want to add? Noah would like to be featured in the video?
No, you guys keep going, train hard, be smart, focus on everything inside and out.
Healthy.
Focus on your spiritual self. There's so much that ties in to the physical in this world. It's not just that. So I encourage you guys to use this time to perfect all of you.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, yeah, you will get where you want to be, but it's never just one thing. It's everything. And that's not to make it sound bigger or too complicated. But that would be my final thing. I would say just literally put it all together, and it's a learning experience. I know for you competitors, you guys only have another 8 weeks or so, but this is a lifelong thing, and just know that it's taken me years, and I have coaches, multiple coaches that helped and trained me over the years. It's taken a long time. And so, but the greatest thing you can ever do for yourself is to figure yourself out. Because then you become in the driver's seat of yourself. And that's something we've all been after for a long time. Instead of just dealing with whatever, comes in front of us, we're more in control of what happens to us. So. Yeah.
Oh, I'm dropping some little faith nuggets there, huh? I love it.
Part of it.
I know. Awesome. Okay. I think maybe one day I'll like do a show. Are there any ladies out there that are competitors? Because I need to talk to somebody. I just really want to know. I need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
I want to see about that. Okay. We love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.